Have you ever wondered what the very first real weapon in human history looked like? It wasn't a sword, it wasn't a bow, and it definitely wasn't a gun. It was something so simple that almost anyone could make it with their bare hands. A long stick with one sharp end. That simple invention was the spear, and it changed the future of humanity forever. Before the spear, humans were weak compared to the animals around them. We didn't have sharp claws, powerful jaws, thick fur, or incredible speed. A hungry lion, wolf, or bear could easily overpower a human. Yet today, humans rule the planet. So what changed? One of the biggest reasons was the spear. It helped humans hunt larger animals, protect their families, win wars, build kingdoms, and even influence the design of modern weapons. The story of the spear is actually the story of human intelligence. So, how did a simple sharpened stick become one of the greatest weapons ever created? Let's go back hundreds of thousands of years. Imagine living in a world with no cities, no roads, no houses, and no supermarkets. Every single day was about survival. If you wanted food, you had to hunt it. If a dangerous animal attacked you, there was no one coming to help. Early humans had to depend on their own minds. One day, someone probably picked up a long, straight branch and sharpened one end using a sharp stone. It was a simple idea, but it worked. Instead of getting dangerously close to an animal, hunters could now keep some distance while attacking. That extra distance often meant the difference between life and death. The earliest spears were made entirely from wood. People carefully removed the bark and sharpened the tip by scraping it against stones. Sometimes they even placed the tip over a fire. The heat made the wood harder, making the spear stronger and more durable. Even though these early spears looked very basic, they completely changed hunting. Humans could now work together. Instead of one person attacking alone, several hunters surrounded an animal. Some distracted it, while others attacked with their spears. Teamwork made humans much more successful than ever before. But people soon realized that wooden tips had problems. After several hunts, the point became dull. Sometimes it broke completely. Humans wanted something stronger. This led to the next great improvement. Instead of sharpening only the wood, people started attaching sharp pieces of stone to the end of the spear. Using animal sinew, plant fibers, and sticky tree resin, they tied carefully shaped stone points onto wooden shafts. Now the spear became much deadlier. Stone stayed sharper than wood and could cut much deeper. Animals that once seemed impossible to hunt became realistic targets. This wasn't just a better weapon. It was proof that humans were learning how to improve their tools. Every generation discovered new ideas. They learned which stones made the sharpest points. They experimented with different lengths. Some spears became lighter for throwing. Others became heavier for close fighting. The spear was constantly evolving. Thousands of years passed. Then humanity entered a completely new age. People discovered metal. First came copper, then bronze. Finally came iron. This changed everything. Metal spearheads were stronger than stone. They stayed sharp longer. They didn't break as easily, and they could be sharpened again after every battle. The spear had evolved from a survival tool into a deadly weapon. As villages became kingdoms and kingdoms became empires, armies needed weapons they could produce in large numbers. The spear was perfect. Unlike swords, which required expensive metal and years of training, spears were affordable and easy to learn. A king could arm thousands of soldiers with spears in a short time. This made the spear the most common weapon in many ancient armies. Different civilizations created their own designs. Some spears were made for throwing long distances. Others were built for hand-to-hand combat. Some had long, narrow points designed to pierce armor. Others had wider blades that caused larger wounds. Every design had a purpose. Soon, military leaders discovered something even more powerful than the spear itself: discipline. Instead of fighting individually, soldiers stood shoulder to shoulder with their spears pointing forward. Imagine hundreds of spear points creating a wall of steel. Charging into that formation was almost impossible. Enemy soldiers often stopped before reaching it. Even horses refused to run into a forest of sharp spearheads. This simple tactic helped many armies defeat much larger enemies. The spear became one of history's greatest military weapons. As armor improved, spears improved too. Some became incredibly long. These extra-long spears allowed soldiers to strike first while staying safely out of an enemy's reach. Entire armies relied on these weapons for victory. For centuries, the spear ruled the battlefield. But it wasn't only a weapon for war. Hunters still used spears to catch large animals. Fishermen created special spears with several sharp points to catch fish in rivers and lakes. Many communities carried spears to protect themselves from dangerous wildlife. In different cultures, the spear also became a symbol of courage, honor, and leadership. Some kings carried ceremonial spears. Some warriors earned respect because of their skill with them. The spear had become much more than a tool. It had become part of human culture. Then another invention appeared that would change warfare forever: gunpowder. The first guns were slow and unreliable. Soldiers still depended on spears because reloading a firearm could take a long time. For many years, guns and spears existed together on the battlefield. But technology never stopped improving. Firearms became faster, more accurate, more powerful. Slowly, the spear began disappearing from armies. Many people believed its time had finally ended. But that wasn't completely true. Take a close look at a modern military rifle. Many rifles can still be fitted with a bayonet, a blade attached to the front of the gun. Once attached, the rifle can be used almost exactly like a spear during close combat. In other words, one of humanity's oldest weapons still survives inside one of its newest. Even today, many military forces continue bayonet training. The basic idea behind the spear is still considered useful. Outside the military, the spear continues to exist in hunting equipment, fishing tools, survival gear, and even sports like javelin throwing. Its influence is everywhere. When you think about it, the spear tells an incredible story. It began as nothing more than a sharpened branch picked up by someone trying to survive. Over thousands of years, humans improved it with stone, then metal, then stronger designs, then military tactics. Finally, it inspired modern weapons that are still used today. Very few inventions have remained important for such a long time. The spear helped humans hunt. It helped protect families. It helped build civilizations. It helped shape history itself. But perhaps the greatest lesson isn't about the weapon. It's about the people who created it. Every improvement happened because someone looked at a simple tool and asked one question: how can I make this better? That curiosity has driven every major invention in human history. From sharpened sticks to advanced military weapons, the journey of the spear reminds us that the greatest changes often begin with the simplest ideas. And that is how one ordinary stick became one of the most influential weapons the world has ever known.